Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. A beautiful day it is here in New York, and I am your host, as always, Joey Sips, with Business Talk Radio. I'm very excited to bring in our next guest because he is also a native New Yorker like myself, and this gentleman is from Mineola, everybody. He is a partner at Greebel and Greebel. It is my pleasure to bring to the show Mitchell A. Greebel. Mitchell, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Joey. Thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share with your audience and you my background and my experiences. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, the pleasure is all ours here at Business Talk Radio, and thank you for saying that. As we dive in, let's learn a little about you, sir. Tell us a little about you and what exactly you do and, you know, your practice at Greebel and Greebel.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So this was a firm that was started in 1988. My partner is my father, Lawrence Greebel, who is still actively practicing law. I have, over time, over the 36 years I've been practicing, I have migrated from primarily a corporate practice to a heavily influenced matrimonial litigation practice, which was really as a result of a number of our corporate clients, their CEOs and top executives. Some of them, unfortunately for themselves, went through divorces while we were representing the corporations. And over time, I was asked to second chair and sit in with those clients while they were going through their divorces. And next thing you knew, I became a divorce attorney. So that's really the primary focus of my practice of law.
Well, there you have it. And was there any pressure from Dad, or he was just like, hey, you know, you do what you want to do, and it just kind of wound up happening, or?
Well, the fact is that I don't remember ever having a strong or significant conversation with my dad while I was growing up about what I wanted to be when I grew up, so to speak.
Okay.
And so when I made the decision to go to law school, it was obviously appreciated and supported by my parents. But there was never, I don't remember a day in my life where my father suggested that this was the career path that I should have pursued. He pretty much was willing and allowed me to make that choice for myself.
Well, I think that is truly fantastic to hear. I mean, it sounds like you got a great father.
I do. Thank you.
Of course. Well, listen, Mitchell, walk me through a quick session here. Let's say I'm a first-time client. I'm seeing you for the first time. What usually takes place in that first meeting? You know, what happens?
Certainly. So one of the services that we offer is that I do not charge for a initial consultation. So if a person wants to come in and educate themselves about the divorce process, it doesn't cost them anything for me to share with them my knowledge and base my knowledge on their facts to be able to give them a picture of what their divorce may ultimately look like or should ultimately look like, just based on my experiences.
Sure.
And so the first meeting is generally anywhere between an hour and 15 minutes, and during that time I take all the information about why they are actually sitting in my office across from me seeking a divorce. And within that conversation, I am able to ascertain what their grounds are, what their basis for it is, and what their prognosis is in terms of moving forward with their wish list. Because everyone comes into every litigation, whether it be a divorce or any sort of litigation, with expectations of what they anticipate they're going to receive at the end of the day. And there's a reality to that very often a prospective client needs to have shared with them because, as I said, most of them, thankfully, are not experienced at going through divorces. So when they sit down with me, it's very often the first time they've actually heard someone say to them, he or she, this is what happens when you go through a divorce. So it becomes a very big fact-finding for them. As much as I'm fact-finding about the prospective client, it's fact-finding for them. So they then can decide whether or not that's where they want to go, and if they don't, why not, and if yes, the timing to get that done.
Well, that is quite fascinating, sir, and thank you for sharing that. As I have one more quick question for you before we end our broadcast, and obviously I'm going to give you the floor at the very end so you can get your personal information out there on whatever you'd like our listeners to know so they can contact you if they do need your services. But real quick, if I may, being that we are living in this COVID-19 era right now, sir, let's say someone did want to use your services but couldn't meet you face-to-face or, just weren't willing to just yet. Do you use any of those online platforms like Skype, Zoom, things of that nature, so you could still reach your audience and vice versa if needed?
As a general rule, pre-COVID, I would refrain from and actually deter any prospective client from conducting an interview, so to speak, with me over the phone.
Okay.
It's my belief, just generally speaking, we potentially are going to war, and so you certainly want to know what that person looks like and have the opportunity to have a feel for who they are. And so that's why I have always strongly suggested that the intake should be live. COVID obviously has been a game changer, but I will tell you that I have had only one client in the last 6 months who has said to me that she's not comfortable coming in, and we did start our intake on the phone. This was about 3 months ago, and literally yesterday I spoke to her again, and we did it by Zoom. So I have no problem facilitating a methodology that works for the prospective client. Obviously, the unknown of COVID, and we can leave it at that because I have nothing to add to that. But the unknown has really just wreaked havoc on all of us, and I'm not in any position to tell someone that they've got to just suck it up and get over it and show up at my office when they may not have actually been out of their house since March 6th. So it is what it is in that regard, and I'm willing to accommodate a client with that regard. I've also, on rare occasion, but there have been opportunities where I've actually met a client in the last 3 months outdoors. I actually met them at Roosevelt Field in a parking lot, so to speak, and we spoke from social distancing just to be able to engage. So I will do what a prospective client is seeking from me, as long as it's reasonable, because again, we're living in uncharted waters.
You know what? That's a great way to look at it, sir. And as we conclude our broadcast, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing all that knowledge of yours, and for all of our listeners out there that might be struggling in their marriage or going toward that direction. I am sure that Mitchell would love to help you and see you, so please do reach out to him. And right now, sir, I'm going to give you the floor. How could our listeners do just that?
Certainly. The law firm is Greebel and Greebel. Our website is www.greebel.com. There's nothing in between the Greebels. I'm located in Mineola. My firm telephone number is 516-248-7008. And as I said, I do not charge for an initial consultation. So if you are sitting and listening to this and you have some concerns about where your marriage is going and do not have any idea about the process, feel free to give me a call. I will give you the opportunity to meet with me and apply the facts of your case to the law in New York and give you an opportunity to at least understand what you would be facing if you, in fact, decide to proceed with your divorce. So, again, it's 516-248-7008. I'm located in beautiful downtown Mineola. So if I can be of assistance to any of you, please do feel free to call me. Joe, thank you. I do appreciate this very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking time today to talk to us on the air. And again, everybody, you know what to do now. Mitchell Greebel from Mineola, New York. Again, partner at Greebel and Greebel. It was a pleasure hosting you, sir, and all the best to you.
Thank you, Joe. Same to you. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You as well, sir. And to all of our listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.